What's going on YouTube? Welcome to D&CGaming Legion. My name is Chris, and today we're talking about Elden Ring. I've never gotten a chance to talk about how much I love this game, and since it's been a month since the Colosseum update happened, I figure now is a good time to just, sit down and reflect on everything that's happened with the Colosseum and what they could do to improve, fix, adjust, and just overall make the Colosseum even better. While I do think it's my favorite update, there's a lot I would like to see them change and improve, so let's dive right into it. Alright, so let's start off with something actually really simple. Consumables. Right now, your consumables don't get replenished after each Colosseum match, and I think that's a problem. Consumables are a very big part of this game's PvP. Like, things like fan daggers.
Double kill. Triple kill. Overkill.
So you're going to be using these very often in a lot of matches. Now, normally, you'd be getting runes for killing other players, so you'd be able to easily replenish them, no problem. But here, you're not getting any reward from the Colosseum. And I think that's a problem. So, it'd be nice to have your consumables replenished after each match. In Sekiro, they had a boss gauntlet mode, and in that boss gauntlet mode, after each session, you would get your consumables back. So you're encouraged to use them. And I think that would be really nice to be encouraged to just use everything you have in the Colosseum without worrying about having to rebuy it or recraft it. It would be nice if you could get runes for, killing players or, just winning matches or just even playing matches, but I think just having them simply be replenished at the end of each session would be the best solution because, again, consumables are a very big part of this game's PvP, so it would be nice if they fixed that. Next, let's talk about incentive and rewards. Now, I want to make something clear. The Colosseum is literally all just about having fun playing PvP, and that's 100% fine. I'd rather be playing a PvP game and just trying to have fun, rather than having to grind a stupid battle pass or something like that. With that said, however, getting a reward once in a while when you're playing the game is very nice. But what should be the rewards for the Colosseum be, you might ask? Well, I don't want it to be something exclusive that you can only get in the Colosseum. I want it to be something that's already in the base game, but something that's useful. So something that comes to mind, for example, is larval tears. Now, for me personally, one of the most fun aspects of this game's PvP, and any of the Souls games' PvP for that matter, is respecing your character, trying out different weapon combinations and different builds. Now, currently in the game, there's a limited number of larval tears you can get per playthrough. So eventually, you are going to run out, and you're going to have to go into New Game Plus and go get them all again. So it'd be really nice if maybe for every, 5, 10 wins or whatever, you get a larval tear for, playing the Colosseum. Now, in general, too, though, they should just have a NPC that sells larval tears, an unlimited amount I might add, or perhaps an enemy that you can farm them from. The point is, you should be able to get unlimited amount of larval tears, but having them as rewards in PvP would be nice too. And speaking of rewards, another really nice thing you should be able to get is Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones and Somber Dragon Smithing Stones. Again, there should be an enemy that you can farm them from. There should be an NPC that sells them, but having them as rewards, maybe, again, for maybe every 5 wins, 10 wins, something like that, it would go a long way. I hate that I have to pick and choose what weapons I want to fully upgrade. I'd rather just be able to try out a weapon, max it out, and just have fun with it, and not feel like I wasted my smithing stone on some weapon that I don't enjoy. I mean, how many times have you played PvP and you hit an opponent and they're like one hit away from death? They're like barely alive, and you say to yourself, man, if my weapon was fully upgraded, I might have been able to take them down right there if I hit them, if it was fully upgraded. That happened to me quite a number of times. And I personally think that part of the reason why, when the game was out for the first couple months, why everyone was using, Rivers of Blood and like all the meta weapons is because since there's only so many smithing stones you can get your hands on per playthrough, you want to obviously make sure you upgrade a weapon that's really good. So people are going to look up what the meta weapons were, and they're just going to upgrade those so that way they get a good investment in their Ancient Dragon Smithing Stones or Somber Dragon Smithing Stones. if you can get an unlimited amount of them per playthrough, I think players would be more willing to try out other types of weapons because they wouldn't feel like they're wasting their, precious stones on them. Another thing worth talking about that a lot of people have mentioned is adding cover to the Colosseum maps. Now, if they are going to add cover, they need to be careful how they implement it, because the only map that currently has cover is the Caelid Arena with those little columns. And in the footage that you're going to be seeing right now on screen, I'm fighting this guy. It's a really close fight. I didn't use any magic on him, and he's basically one hit away from death. And now what he's doing is he's running behind the column, right? Trying to play Ring Around the Rosie with me. He's hoping that I'll chase him around the column and he'll get like a quick lucky hit in, like as I'm going around, since I can't really see what he's doing. And it's just kind of annoying having to deal with someone that's just constantly circling around this thing. It's just not very fun to fight against, So if they're going to add cover, they need to be very careful how they implement this. Because I don't want, more maps that have this. They need to add, in my opinion, like a rectangular, shape cover. Like something that you can run around, but you can't run around, as quick as the columns on the Caelid Arena. Because I find that to be really annoying to deal with, regardless of whether you use magic or not. I also feel like, in general, they need to have just different types of maps, not just the same old, Colosseum circle maps. You remember in Dark Souls 3 how they had a map that was based off of Archdragon Peak, where it had, 2 levels, there were staircases, there was a bridge you could drop down? I feel like a map like that would work a lot better for 2v2s, 3v3s, free-for-alls, just because you'd have, multiple players. You wouldn't be able to just spawn in and, see all the other players and just immediately start shooting them with your magic, right? You'd have to actually run around the map until you finally see somebody, which would give, the other players a little more breathing room so they don't get sniped from behind. So, that's what I would like to see as far as cover is concerned. But also, I would like to see more, I'd like to see, stage hazards on the map. Maybe, they could have, trap doors that lead to, pitfalls that instantly kill players. Maybe they could have a map that has, lava on it, or, some maps that have, poison or scarlet rot. Maybe they could have a map that has lightning striking down on it. It would also be really cool if they had a map that had one of those, guardian-like chariots that you find in, the hero tombs that, come back and forth and basically could instantly kill you. That would be really cool, fun little hazard that players would have to avoid. Maybe they could even have a map that would have, a mini-boss that, fights all the players, and if the player that kills it gets, a buff, or gets their health back, or something cool like that. There's a lot of potential of possibilities that they could do with the Colosseum if they get really creative with it. So that's some things I'd like to see as far as maps are concerned. Okay, just a few more points, and then I'm going to wrap this video up. So let's talk about invincibility during respawning. Currently, you are not invincible when you respawn, in-game modes that allow you to respawn, which means you could be spawn killed.
Cancelled. This is disgusting, Peeve.
Now, what's weird is that when you're an invader and you invade someone else's world, when you spawn in as an invader, you're invincible. I don't understand why they didn't just copy that and put that into the arena, but I would definitely like to see that as a change. Another thing, too, going back to what I mentioned about the larval tiers, it would be really cool if you can use a larval tier to, lower your level, de-level yourself. Because everyone has been arguing since the game came out what the soul level meta should be for PvP. Everyone's got their own opinion on that, right? So, the only way you'll find out, for sure, is to obviously try out the different meta levels with, the appropriate levels of your characters. But so much has changed since the game released, so having the option to just lower your level so you could just try out 125 and see if you like it better than 150 and so on, that'd be really nice. At the same time, though, they should also give you an option to revert back to what your max level was on your character. So let's say you were 150 and you tried out 125, you didn't like it. They should let you use a larval tier to go back to what your max level was. I think that would be a very good change that most players would not have a problem with at all. And as for some just general PvP changes in general, I definitely would like to see them continued buffing and nerfing various weapons, but the straight sword, not that straight swords, the thrusting swords, or really any thrusting weapon, still seems like it dominates just because of the moveset, the counter damage, and all that stuff. But like the thrusting, like little short swords, those I really like. They need to change the poise damage to. This might be controversial, but I feel like maybe they should just reduce the poise damage to 0 on those. That way, if you have 0 poise, you could just still not get stunned by them when you get hit by them. Just because, you know, currently the damage they do, the speed, all that stuff still is good. And if your character doesn't have high poise, if you're using like a lighter armor set, you're going to get stunned by these things, which obviously is a problem. Another change they could also do is change the Bull Goat Talisman. Right now, that thing currently, it just gives you a little bit of poise and gives you like reduction to poise damage, but I think they should change it to how it was in Dark Souls 1, where it just gives you a flat poise increase by like a large amount. Because currently, it only benefits characters that already have high poise to begin with. It doesn't really help the lower poise character builds that have like, you know, some of the lower poise armor sets. Having it like just give you like a big like 50, 60, maybe even 70, you know, poise value, I think would be really nice, just so you can wear, you know, those lighter armor sets that look really cool but still have decent poise. Because again, you know, fashion souls is a thing. I want my character to look cool. I don't want to be forced to wear the same old armor everyone else is wearing just because of the poise values. And regarding Quick Step and Bloodhound Step, I don't know if they have any more changes planned for those Ashes of War, but I think what they could do to also nerf them a little bit, because right now they definitely are at their strongest when they have, like, again, a thrusting sword, like a really fast weapon, but what they could do, in my opinion, to nerf them but still make them strong is, what if they made it where Quick Step and Bloodhound Step are like buffs that you have to apply? Like, you know how in Barbaric Roar gives you a buff, and during that, you know, buff, it changes your heavy attack? What if they did something like that with Quick Step and Bloodhound Step? So let's say it takes maybe 30 or 40 focus points to activate. It gives you a buff for, you know, maybe 30 seconds or so, and during that time, your rolls get changed into Quick Steps, right? So you'd be able to, you know, use it effectively, but it would eventually run out, and then you'd have to reapply it. This would force you to go in with the Ash of War, and means that when you run out, someone could punish you if they stay on you. So I think that'd be a really neat way of balancing those Ashes of War. But anyway, that's all the stuff I'd like to see changed regarding the Colosseum, so thank you again for watching. If you liked the video, hit the like button down below, hit the subscribe button down below, and leave your comments. I'd love to know what you guys think. What do you want to see change with the Colosseum update? You know, let me know. I look forward to reading all the comments. So, again, thanks for watching, and this is Chris from D&CGaming Legion, signing off.